Hi, this is Randy Altman with Post Perspective. We're here with Maxon's Paul Babb. Paul, welcome.
Hey, Randy.
Thanks for joining us. Now we're here to talk about the SIGGRAPH that would have been. I know they're doing stuff online, but the DC show is not happening. But you guys, that's a big show for you. So what are your alternative plans this year?
Actually, this year we've actually been conducting our shows online. We actually did do a SIGGRAPH show during the actual dates of SIGGRAPH when they were going to be a couple of weeks ago. As you know, we've been broadcasting our presentations from the booth for probably 15 plus years. So for us, it was just a switch to having the presentations broadcast from artists' homes. So instead of bringing the artists out to the trade show and broadcasting their presentations from the booth, we've been hosting the event from our office. Matthias would be in the conference room who hosts it, and I would be in my office and make my appearances. And then we would bring the artists in to do their presentations live. And they stay afterwards for a little Q&A for everybody. And we have a handful of people who keep their eyes on the chat and pull questions out so that they can get their questions in and interact with the artists. We've even tried to recreate the great part of a show for our artists where they get to hang out after the show and have dinners and drinks and things like that. We've been doing some online video conference parties after the show. So we bring the artists all together. We'll have some conversations. Our CEO, Dave, may come in and answer some questions, or a product manager like we would normally have at a trade show. So we've been trying to recreate that experience, and it's somewhat worked. We've actually had a lot of times artists will connect up and exchange ideas or say, let's talk afterwards. And a lot of that was happening via video conference. So we did SIGGRAPH. We're going to do, we actually have a show next week on the 12th. We're going to do a one-day show on the 12th. We have one on August 26th. We, of course, will be participating in SIGGRAPH's virtual show. We'll be putting some content up there and manning the virtual booth. And then we'll do a live show for IBC in the beginning of September. And then I think we do one in November and one in December. So we've kind of put our efforts towards still providing those artist presentations where they do their breakdowns, show off some tips and techniques, share ideas, and hopefully commiserate with the audience, and doing our best to keep bringing that content to people that they love to have.
Well, I know that September, typically you introduce something at SIGGRAPH, but you launch it in September. Is that sort of how it's been in the past?
Actually, it was interesting this year for the SIGGRAPH show this year, a couple of weeks ago, and actually those videos are available on demand as well. That if anybody missed that show, they can actually go see Dave's presentation on demand on the, we're doing all our shows from, I should say, 3dmotionshow.com. And if they miss those, they can go watch those. But the first day of our virtual SIGGRAPH, Dave did a really interesting thing we've never done before at Maxon. He did some technology sneak previews. So there was some, typically in our old world Maxon, we would keep things very close to the vest. But Dave was sharing some new technologies coming in the not so distant future and distant future. And so was sharing some pipeline or some, I've seen roadmap things that normally we wouldn't share with people. Excuse me. And so it was very exciting. It was kind of fun. And the reaction was really great because I think people have been wanting us for a long time to be a little bit more open about where we're going with the products and things like that. So there was a little bit of, here's what's happening with Redshift. Here's what's happening with Red Giant. And then what's happening with Cinema 4D. There was some more in-depth things about that. And then, so we didn't announce anything in particular, but we did show some sneak previews of what's coming. And then at IBC, September 8th, we'll kick off the show with another presentation by Dave. And yes, we have some very exciting announcements to make at IBC this year. We'll show some more things coming in the future, et cetera, et cetera. But, and then all the great presentations from artists. But yeah, that September 8th presentation is going to be pretty exciting.
Okay, and where can people go to watch that?
The show is on 3dmotionshow.com, 3dmotionshow.com. And there's actually a register button. If they click a register button, they'll just get an email. As we run up to the next show, they'll get an email reminding them that there's going to be a show next week or tomorrow. We usually do one email the week before, one email the day before, and then we'll put out an email the day of with an outline of the presentations and things like that. We try to keep the communication to, a reasonable point, but so if they want to register so they can be notified of those shows, they can go do that at any time. And then there's also in the menus, there's an archive button. They can go back and watch any of the shows that have happened, this year or previous years.
Okay, including Dave's hints at what's coming next.
Yes.
Okay, great. Before I let you go, do you want to share any hints or tidbits of what we might expect in September? Can you do any?
Let's see. Well, I guess I would say go and watch the archive from the SIGGRAPH show, Dave's presentation. There's some presentations by people from Red Giant, Redshift, Cinema 4D products. Those will give them a good indication of some things that they might see coming sooner than later. Yeah, I think I have to say, I mean, he sneak peeked a lot of stuff, including some future technology that really looks exciting, and people were very excited about. But I'll just leave it that there's plenty there for them to digest, and then don't miss the September 8th presentation when Dave does it, because I think there's going to be some other really exciting stuff, and of course, announcements.
Fantastic, Paul. Thanks so much for joining us. See you at the next one. Who knows when, but.
Thanks, Randy. Yeah, boy, I can't wait till we do these in person. Raise a glass.
Agreed. Thank you.